So a 14-2 run, bridging the two quarters for the Aces. Boston is tangled up. Jump ball is the call.
I mean, when you reach around from behind to tie somebody up, that doesn't usually get you a jump ball. I mean, I don't know how. Watch this play right here. Look. They're going to call jump ball from behind? Look at Asia Wilson's like looking at the ref. Elliot Boston's like, you got to be kidding me.
What do you do when it feels like the referees are doing everything they can to tilt the game against you? If you're the Indiana Fever, you don't fold, you push back even harder. The recent matchup against the Las Vegas Aces exposed a glaring issue with WNBA officiating, and this time, the proof was impossible to ignore. From a string of questionable calls benefiting Asia Wilson to head coach Stephanie White's fired-up response, this game had it all. But the real story? It's about how the Fever players decided they weren't going to let inconsistent officiating dictate their fate. And Caitlin Clark's reaction from the sidelines? That moment spoke volumes about the frustration and determination simmering beneath the surface. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What's your take on the state of WNBA officiating? Let's dive in.
Look like the WNBA referees has been caught yet again not playing fair with the Fever with Stephanie White, and she said that's bullshit. She said it's just like that, man. I've never seen Stephanie White curse, bro. She cursed yesterday at the game.
Ever wonder what exactly sent Stephanie White over the edge? Let's be clear, coaches don't just lose their composure and confront referees without a serious reason, but that's precisely what happened when the officiating became so blatantly lopsided that even White's patience snapped. From the very first possession, something felt off. The whistle seemed to lean toward Las Vegas almost instantly, setting a frustrating tone that left Fever fans questioning what kind of game they were watching. You know what's truly maddening? When you can predict which team is going to get the benefit of the doubt from the officials before the play even unfolds.
Man, this moment right here was so egregious, man. I just wanted to point it out. I had to point it out, dog. There was no way, all right, that you can't tell me that the Asia Wilson whistle isn't a thing.
The tipping point came on a play that perfectly highlighted everything wrong with WNBA officiating. Asia Wilson made clear, undeniable contact with Olia Boston from behind a foul so obvious it should have been automatic. But instead of blowing the whistle, the officials inexplicably called a jump ball. Boston took a hard hit, and the refs reacted as if it was routine. That's when Stephanie White completely lost her composure. Caught on camera, her raw emotional outburst, directed at the officiating crew, revealed just how fed up she was with a game that felt rigged to protect Wilson at all costs.
This is the stuff that pisses me off. Look at hands straight up, another foul in the Fever. The Aces had him up 11 free throws to 2. How we watch these officials, let's watch these screens. They're like dirty plays. You could just see them checking the Indiana Fever all game long. Like, these are not good screens. And then watch this. Another, like, they called so many fouls, sent the Aces to the line.
Here's the reality. This wasn't a one-off moment. Throughout the game, Asia Wilson seemed to benefit from a level of leniency that other players could only wish for. When Olia Boston made similar contact in nearly identical scenarios, the whistle was immediate and unquestioned. But when Wilson initiated the same level of contact, suddenly the officials developed a convenient case of selective vision. It was like watching two different sets of rules being applied on the same court, all depending on the name on the back of the jersey.
And then look at this. They don't call this a foul. She grabs Aaliyah Boston around the back. That's what Aaliyah Boston's saying. And instead of a foul, they called a jump ball. But I just showed you all the times. And look at this. The Aces player hits it out with her hand. Aerie never touched it again, but they give the ball to the Aces. Look at these fouls. And then look at this. Sophie Cunningham gets knocked over in the back, but they don't call a foul. No foul, and Stephanie White, by now, she is pissed.
Sophie Cunningham experienced this blatant double standard in real time. Actions that earned her quick foul calls were mysteriously overlooked when Asia Wilson was the one initiating contact. The inconsistency became so glaring that fans found themselves shouting at their screens, witnessing referees enforce entirely different standards for the exact same plays. Aaliyah Boston wasn't spared. Either she endured the same biased treatment all night. Moves that Wilson pulled off without a second glance became instant fouls when Boston tried them. The pattern wasn't subtle. Wilson appeared to be playing under a separate rulebook, while Fever players were getting whistled for simply existing too close.
Stuff the WNBA ignores, then makes foul calls like this on Sophie Cunningham beyond comical. Caitlin will shoot 50 free throws a game if she got this whistle. Now, we know Caitlin Clark has not been seeing a promising whistle from the WNBA referees. And I'm telling you right now, it don't look like she will, man.
This wasn't a case of random missed calls. This was systematic bias that conveniently kept the Aces competitive in a game where they were clearly being outplayed. The officiating wasn't just inconsistent, it was manufacturing chances for Las Vegas, turning what should have been a fair matchup into something that felt more like scripted sports entertainment than a legitimate basketball game. The free throw numbers tell the whole story. Vegas stepped to the line 17 times, while Indiana only had 12 attempts, despite the Fever relentlessly attacking the rim all night. Those extra trips to the line weren't the result of better execution. They were handed out by officials, seemingly intent on keeping the Aces within reach. But there was one thing the refs didn't anticipate: Indiana's relentless fight. No matter how skewed the calls became, the Fever refused to fold under the weight of biased officiating.
Aaliyah Boston was so confused. Look at her, look at her. Aaliyah Boston was pissed. She's like, huh? Man, look, the Asia Wilson whistle, dog. Unmatched. Only two whistles that could match that whistle is Nafisa Correa and Breonna Stewart, dog. Those are only two other whistles that can match that whistle, dog. Oh my goodness.
When questionable officiating threatened to tilt the game, the Indiana Fever players responded with grit and determination, delivering key plays that shattered the Aces' championship aspirations. If you want a lesson in mental toughness, just watch how these athletes refuse to let biased calls dictate the outcome. Kelsey Mitchell is the perfect example. She struggled early, missing her first 4 attempts and shooting just 4-for-19 through the first 3 quarters. The disruptive officiating clearly impacted the team's rhythm. A lesser competitor might have folded under that pressure, but not Mitchell. She rose to the moment when it counted. The fourth quarter was hers to own, scoring 9 crucial points on an efficient 4-of-5 shooting stretch, including a pivotal 3-pointer that gave Indiana the lead for good. From that point forward, they never looked back.
Handoff Cunningham. Cunningham too strong. Mitchell able to save the day. And it's Mitchell going right to the rim. Beats the shot clock and lays it in. Mitchell to the rescue.
Sessions very disruptive, causing all kinds of havoc, late shot clock situations, and then Kelsey Mitchell.
Nolissa Smith dominated both ends of the court, delivering her 6th double-double of the season with 18 points on an efficient 6-of-9 shooting night. Paired with 13 rebounds, she flat-out outperformed the so-called superstar who seems to benefit from every questionable whistle. Smith's third quarter surge racking up 11 points completely wiped out the Aces lead and served as a clear reminder that skill and effort will always rise above favoritism. She even splashed in a rare 3-pointer and tallied 3 steals, evoking memories of her standout performance in the Commissioner's Cup when Aces fans were leaving the arena well before the final buzzer.
That's what Indiana's trying to do here with Vegas.
Mitchell leaves it. Howard open. Knocks down a 3. Here's McDonald. Jitterbug into the paint. Howard aggressive attack. Left hand. Got it to go. And a foul.
When she gets the basketball in space and she's got a one-on-one, Natasha Howard has a lot to do.
In her last 6 games from the 3-point line. Here's McDonald running the floor, doesn't get the whistle, but guess who to clean up?
Aaliyah Boston added her own statement performance with a hard-earned double-doubly, finishing with 13 points and 10 rebounds. Despite being relentlessly hacked by defenders with little to no protection from the officials, Boston's confidence never wavered. Her decision to step out and knock down perimeter shots forced the Aces to scramble defensively, exposing gaps they couldn't patch. When the refs refused to call contact, you would just stand. Boston did just that, hitting shots from spots where no amount of biased officiating could interfere.
The league and shots blocked. Cole bounces in front. Knocks down a 3.
Sophie Cunningham kept her red-hot July streak alive, pouring in 15 points on nearly flawless shooting, going 4-for-5 from the field and drilling 3 of 4 from deep like they were warm-up shots. This wasn't a breakout. It was business as usual for Cunningham, who's been torching defenses at a ridiculous 58.1% clip from 3 over her last 6 games, while averaging 13.7 points. Her ability to stretch the floor and bring relentless energy on defense made her the ideal piece alongside Indiana's core. And with every bucket Sophie buried, you could see the irritation build on Asia Wilson's face.
Offense was not the issue for Indiana on Tuesday. They put up 84 points despite the absence of Caitlin Clark. Cunningham hit 5 threes, and it's her first tonight. Stay with Indiana.
So Sophie Cunningham doing a really good job of reading the stagger. You have options off that, and she's reading the second.
Ari McDonald delivered the knockout blow when it mattered most. With 35 seconds left and the game hanging in the balance, McDonald drilled the clutch three-pointer that sealed Vegas's fate. She was a perfect 3-4-3 from beyond the arc. And that dagger was the only shot she took in the fourth quarter. Her stat line, 9 points, 4 assists. 2 steals in just 22 minutes is proof that depth is what separates contenders from champions. Meanwhile, Lexi Hull was doing what she does best, suffocating opponents with relentless hustle and defensive grit. Her game-changing plays swung the momentum back to Indiana when it mattered most. But while these players were battling through adversity, someone else was waging war from the sidelines with just as much fire.
And look at this travel. This is the craziest thing ever. The ref's right in front of the ref's eyes. This girl's pivoted on 2 feet, jumping around, gets the ball, I don't even know. But Lexi Hall, look at her reaction.
And then came the moment Caitlin Clark couldn't hold it in any longer. You see her on the sideline, practically jumping out of her shoes, hands flying, face full of disbelief. The cameras caught every second of her raw frustration. This wasn't about a missed shot or a bad play. This was about watching her teammates get blatantly wronged again by officiating that felt more like sabotage than oversight. You could see it in her body language. Clark was done pretending. This was normal.
Caitlin at one stage, jumping up off the bench to start screaming.
Clark sat on that bench, helpless, watching the refs try to hand the game away one bad call at a time. For someone wired to live in the heat of competition, this was pure torture. Every blown whistle against the Fever was like twisting a knife. In real time, but the breaking point, it wasn't random. It was a moment only a high-level basketball mind like Clark would instantly catch. Subtle contact ignored, defensive positioning manipulated, a split-second bias in favor of Asia Wilson that changed the play's outcome. Clark saw it all before anyone else did. That's why she exploded. That outburst wasn't frustration for show, it was the reaction of someone who knows the game too well to stay silent when it's being rigged in plain sight.
That's a foul. Ari McDonald goes up and gets hit in the air, no foul called, right? And then they call a foul on her for not even touching a person. That was a foul called on Ari McDonald. Look at this. And then touch foul, Asia Wilson. And then here we go, another touch foul for the Aces. Like, how many times did they call fouls on the Fever, but they want this to be a physical game?
So now the league has a choice. You can keep pretending this isn't happening. Keep ignoring the cameras, the replays, the analysts, the fans, and now's your own star players. Or you can fix it, because when Caitlin Clark, sitting injured on the bench, becomes the loudest voice in the arena without saying a word, that's not just frustration, that's a siren. A siren telling the world your officiating is broken. You say you want to grow the game, then protect its future. Call the game fairly. Enforce the rules. Stop insulting the fans' intelligence with this nothing to see here act. The ball's in your court now. WNBA, are you going to blow the whistle? Or are you going to blow your shot?
If you smash down hard enough, the officials get super confused. Wilson gets away with these fouls all the time, especially against the Fever. Hey, right. Dang, that's a fact. I forgot all about that one, man. Literally, and she laughs every time.
This wasn't just a game, it was a statement. The Indiana Fever didn't just beat the Las Vegas Aces, they beat the narrative. They exposed a league-wide problem and flipped it into fuel. Caitlin Clark's frustration, visible for the world to see, wasn't a sign of defeat, it was a warning. The WNBA can keep stacking the deck, but it won't matter when a team refuses to fold. The Fever's fight, grit, and refusal to back down is building a foundation that no biased whistle can crack. 2025 isn't just a season on the calendar, it's a reckoning, and when Clark returns, she won't be coming back just to play. She'll be coming back to take over.
I wasn't 100% confident we were going to close out the game at one point, especially with the way the refs were doing it, but I want to shout out to Sophie Cunningham. She got like 33 minutes last night, shot 4 for 5, 15 points again. I mean, she is playing lights out. You could not ask for more from her. And she's not a focal point on the offense. It's not like they run plays for her. She just, spots up, ready to rock and roll, hits everything that comes in her hands. She's shooting the best 3-point percentage in the WNBA in the month of July.
And it's not just empty numbers. Every shot Cunningham hits feels like a dagger. These aren't garbage time threes or meaningless stats and blowouts. These are momentum-shifting, crowd-silencing bombs that rip the air out of opposing arenas. While defenses obsess over stopping Clark in Boston, Cunningham is out here casually torching them from deep. She's the ultimate X factor, the player teams forget about until it's too late. You want to talk about 6th player of the year? Start with the one who's quietly becoming the most lethal sniper off the bench. The numbers don't lie, but the impact, it's even louder. Sophie Cunningham isn't just helping the Fever win games, she's changing how teams have to defend them.
Playing for Sophie Cunningham to start again tonight, or what's your...
Yes.
What is it about her, I guess, at the start of a game that you like having her in the lineup?
Another ball handler, another player who can create shots for her teammates, as well as stretch the floor. A really good defensive rebounder as well. You know, we had at times really struggled from a defensive rebounding standpoint, so like that as well. And her energy.
You don't survive in this league without depth, and the Fever just prove they have it in spades. Sophie Cunningham's rise isn't a fluke, it's the result of a team culture where every player is ready when their number's called. While other franchises are top-heavy, relying on 2 or 3 stars to carry the load. Indiana is building a rotation where anyone can torch you on any given night. Cunningham's hot streak is more than just a silver lining to Clark's injury. It's a statement, a warning shot to the rest of the league that the Fever are no longer a one-star show. They're a complete, battle-tested unit, and by the time Clark returns, this team won't just be dangerous, they'll be terrifying. Blueprint is set, depth wins championships, and Indiana's following it to perfection.
This run continues, but Cunningham able to put it.
That's the Fever's identity in a nutshell. Next player up. No excuses. Sophie Cunningham embodies that mindset. When the spotlight shifted because of Clark's absence, she didn't blink, she thrived. And that infectious mentality is exactly why Indiana's ceiling is so much higher than people realize. Championship teams are built on moments like this. Role players turning into stars when adversity strikes. Depth pieces transforming into game changers. Cunningham's rise is more than a personal breakout, it's a reflection of a Fever team that refuses to fold, no matter what obstacles be it. Injuries or officiating are thrown in their way. And here's the scary part for the rest of the WNBA. Clark will be back. When she returns, she's joining a team that's sharper, tougher, and deeper because of this stretch. Indiana's building something bigger than just one star. They're building a contender.
Got Melissa Smith on you. I would just clear it out if you're Mitchell. Just tell everybody, go to the other side of the floor.
Cunningham straight away delivers with a 3.
Or that.
Sophie Cunningham's performance didn't just light up the scoreboard, it frustrated Aja Wilson and the entire Las Vegas Aces squad. Every time Vegas tried to shift their defensive focus elsewhere, Cunningham made them pay from deep. You could see the annoyance on Wilson's face, watching shot after shot fall from a player they probably didn't even scout seriously. Cunningham's 15 points weren't empty numbers. They were a statement. She's not just filling minutes. She's winning games with her shot-making and defensive grit. This isn't a role player anymore. This is a difference maker. Starting Cunningham has unlocked leadership qualities that went unnoticed for far too long. She's elevating the Fever's culture with every possession. And here's the scary part. When Caitlin Clark returns to this level of supporting cast excellence, the rest of the WNBA better be ready. Indiana's not coming. They've arrived.
Vegas has done a nice job coming on the road, keeping Indiana Fever in check offensively, and Sophie Cunningham, you cannot lose.
This victory proves one thing loud and clear. The Indiana Fever are building a championship caliber culture that no amount of biased officiating can break. Their 13-12 record in season series win over the Las Vegas Aces isn't just another stat, it's a message to the entire league. You can try to stack the deck against us, but we're still coming for you. That tiebreaker over Vegas, it's going to be a game changer when playoff seeding is on the line. You're watching a team that doesn't fold under pressure. They rise through it. 22-5 is shaping up to be the year Indiana shows the WNBA and the entire basketball world what happens when you try to hold back a team destined for greatness. Caitlin Clark will return to a battle-tested squad, with Sophie Cunningham shooting the lights out, Kelsey Mitchell clutching up in the biggest moments, and a locker room that refuses to be intimidated. This is a team transforming right in front of our eyes. A team with an unbreakable spirit. A team ready to shock the world. Now it's your turn. Drop a comment below. What do you think of the WNBA referees this season? Are they crossing the line? Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on ALL notifications so you never miss the real stories the mainstream won't cover. The Fever's journey is just beginning, and you'll want to be here for every single moment.